Everybody, look at this right here. Check it out. We stayed. I told you it was a coin flip, right? Look at that. Had that resistance, that support, and we stayed right in the freaking middle. Right in the middle. Can't make this stuff up. Can't make this stuff up. Crazy, right? Crazy. Just, I mean, I was like, I don't really think it's gonna go up or down, and guess what? It didn't really do anything. And we look at the after hours. I mean, check out the extended hour. I mean, it just chopped around. It was all the way down to here, all the way down to here, all the way up to here, and we just stayed kind of in the middle. Maybe a little upside pressure today. The range I mentioned yesterday still in play. We still got to break out. Downtrend highs, we still got to break out to go higher. So, I mean, that's... Sometimes the market kind of tells you. I was uncertain, but I didn't think it was going to do anything. So, and it turns out it didn't really do anything. The other thing going on in the market was that there were... So, anybody that saw my post about tons of puts, right? Like crazy premium on puts. Big players sold those puts like crazy. Millions and millions of dollars of puts were sold to retail traders buying puts. It was like a game. They were coming down here, buying, like making all these put trades, attracting people thinking it's going to plummet out, and then they held it right there. You know what all that put premium is going to do? Go to zero. Destroy people. Destroy retail traders that went short puts. It's a game. It's a game. And they have the ability to hold the stock. Like when it started doing the volatile thing, they started buying. When it started running, they started selling. They kept it pinned in here. Pinned in this range. So there's the resistance. There's the support. What she gonna do? What she gonna do? Just hanging. Probably hang right in this zone through Friday. And then next week, maybe it'll move. So we'll see. We'll see. Now, anybody remember this one from yesterday? I was pretty excited that we did the thing I was looking for to do. I was looking for a little bit lower drop. But with earnings yesterday, look at that move. If anybody, I actually got a position yesterday. Right there. Right before the close. I got in a position. Look at that, baby. Go! $22. Now, why did I take a position? What did I take? Well, I have this new handy dandy thing I've been talking about. Check it out right here. Check it out right here. Look at this sucker right there. Saw this trade come through yesterday. 150 strike calls for June 2026. That's 17 months from now. We're not talking like, this is somebody playing big. $4 million premium right there. I checked some other people's scanners. This trade never showed up. That trade never showed up, but I took it. That was up over 50% right now. It was deep in the money. 150 calls were all the way down here. All the way down here. It was in the money. All that stuff I talked about yesterday being in the money. Guess what? I paid very little premium for this, and now it's really in the money. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Something to it. I'm just telling y'all. I did that in retirement accounts, so I'm gonna hold on to it too because I'm bullish. That was potentially the bottom. For anybody that's been following along with me on snow, like I kind of expect this thing to launch off in a big way. Talking nice upside potential. Now, maybe it's going to take a little bit more, but we could be right back up at the highs out in next summer. This is one of those, they have their technology. A lot of people probably don't understand, but their technology takes data centers. They build these massive data centers. The average data center, 20-25% utilization of that hardware. These giant, massive warehouses sitting full of computers, and they only use like 25% of it. Snowflake has software that takes that 25% utilization and flips it around to like 85, maybe 90% utilization through virtualization and other things. So you can 4x your return on investment. It was in a correction. We've potentially bottomed out. Could have nice, big potential upside here long term. Been looking for that entry opportunity. I added my bigger position. I don't know if I'll add more. Probably not, unless I see another giant opportunity come along. But think about that. Like that 150 strike call, even though it was like $50, if it goes to 300, whoo, that's a pretty nice return. Even if you buy shares, that's a pretty nice return. So it's kind of like buying shares when you buy deep in the money. Check this out. So we flew all the way out here, June. We went down to the 150 strike. Yeah, those were pretty pricey. They were $50 at the close. Oh, yeah, June 26th. Yep, right one. I'm on the right one. I was like, wait. Yeah, it was out here. So these were pricey. They were pricey. Anyway, if anybody got in on it, let me know. It's one of those opportunities. I was watching. I've been waiting. I got my one share too. My one share's up 20 whatever bucks in the pre-market. That's just wild too. $21 right now. Nice. Nice. All right, moving on. We got GDP coming out this morning. Causing a little bit of volatility. We jump down and look at the smaller time frame here. See this volatility? Ooh. The market wasn't loving the GDP number right there. Ouch. We'll come back and talk about this in a second. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. You might lose money doing this thing we do called trading. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. Just because I get things right doesn't mean I'll ever get another one right. Again, this presentation here tended to be informational, educational, fun, and hopefully entertaining. Hopefully you're entertained by me and you're spending time with me because you find some sort of value. And it's not a recommendation to be buying or selling any financial instrument. So despite me saying to get into snow, or I was going to get into snow, you may lose money, It's not a recommendation to be buying stocks, options, bonds, Forex, futures, cryptos, treasuries. Don't long them, don't short them, don't trade them. If you desire personal financial advice, somebody just to tell you what to do, you're going to have to hire and consult a financial advisor, which is not what I do. I don't even play one on YouTube. I don't pretend to tell you what to do to make money, but if you ride along, maybe you get lucky like I do. Yesterday, we had these new home sales. I mentioned right before we wrapped up that this came in light. We had a huge draw on crude oil, and it just kind of did nothing. Interesting. Today, GDP came in line. I think the market was hoping it would come in a little spicy, a little hot, but nope, came in line, 2.3. Unemployment claims came in a little high. The Washington, D.C. unemployment claims like shot up like a ridiculous percent. Imagine that. Core durable goods came in flat. Durable goods came in 3.1. We were expecting a 2. Preliminary GDP came in 2.4. So that actually went up a little bit. Not bad. Not bad for the price index. We have pending home sales coming up at 10. That can cause a little bit of volatility there. We'll see what happens. Tomorrow, here's the fun one right here. PCE coming in tomorrow in the pre-market. It's probably the biggest number of the week right there. And then that puts the wraps on February right there tomorrow. So come hang out. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you set an alarm on your phone. Come watch me tomorrow. We'll go through what the devil the PCE numbers had. I mean, 0.3. Unfortunately, they don't give me all the year over year and all that stuff on this data source. But we can get them over here. We'll be able to get over here and look at the U.S. numbers on TradingView. 830. So we'll be able to get the, right now it's forecast 2.6 year over year. Month over month, 0.3. So we'll see what gets cooking here. So we got tomorrow we got 91 economic numbers, 553 earnings. Today we have 2,798 earnings, 959 dividends. Tomorrow we got 1,900 dividends right at the end of the month. And then Saturday, 2 earnings. It's like, what? How you got earnings on Saturday? Anyway, next week coming up. I don't know. Looks like next week's going to be, we've kind of passed the peak. This week we passed the peak of earnings. Things getting a little bit back to normal maybe. So there you go. I don't like the way that looks compared to this one. This one much nicer to look at, much easier to distinguish what's going on. So I don't know. To each their own. So PCE coming up tomorrow. Not really. I don't know. I don't really have a feel. I think we might come in a little hot since CPI has been coming a little hot. I think we might come in a little bit spicier than everybody's expecting. If we do, what does that mean for the market? Might pull back. We'll have to see. If it comes in light, we might rip everybody's face off. So GDP right there today causing a little volatility, but you look at it, it's just inside the volatility we've had. The big important low at this point, right there. Right there. This is the S&P 500 futures. Why? Because this one's not ticking for 2 more minutes or 1 more minutes. Got to be open. Like we stopped right there at 4 o'clock yesterday and just holding steady. So the big important low is that one right there. If we get below it, probably going on down. As long as we're above it, still bias up. But still, no matter what happens, even if we get this low that spikes down to the daily roadmap line down here, even if we do that, even if we jump down here, tag this baby right down in here, I'm still thinking 75% bias long, over 25% breaking on down and going lower for the rest of the year. Now, once we get up here, all bets are off. We can roll over for the rest of the year. But I still think we're going up. Going to hit some of these upper targets before we roll off. All right. Digging on through, NASDAQ Retested July once again. Still holding on to that July high. It's going to be a shame if it bounces up and parts around here until this call comes together over here. It's going to frustrate the crap out of me. In the market, it's possible. This looking really weak. Really, really weak. Not got a long way to go down to that 2050 level down there. Now, this could spike back up at this point. This could be the whole like first move down. This could spike back up to that 618 level that we've been talking about. This lower low didn't really significantly impact where that zone is right there. And then we roll off like this. So still, all the conditions still, ES and NQ could go higher, make their higher highs. This could just make a lower high right in this zone. Russell, right in there. And then we roll in a bigger correction. Something to be careful on. Oil, with the draw yesterday, get a little green today. I thought we might hold that uptrend of lows. Thought we might. We'll probably come back up here, retest this resistance. If we get through, probably rally on up here. If we reject back down, come back down here again, there's a high chance we're going to break down. I think it's just going to keep chopping. Gold, look at that. Anybody frustrated we didn't take the gold rush trade yesterday? Probably doing a correction. Watch out for the deeper retrace. All right. I mean, there's something worse than getting in a trade or not getting a trade. It's getting in the trade and losing money. I mean, that's worse than not getting a trade. So even if you're upset that we didn't get into it, guess what? Right now we're down. Not looking so hot. BTC. Hold. Look at that. We had to wait for the futures. The futures had to hit. Now we're potentially green. This now. Look at that right there. I don't even know. Sometimes. This was really frustrating me, and I was really pessimistic, and a lot of you kind of picked up on it. Guess what we did? Sorry to see it, but this cleaned it up. Potentially this is the bottom. There's still risk that we get a deeper one more. That's still the risk. Risk. Can't write with the mouse very well. Still got a risk down here. But if this bounces, it is a roadmap bounce off a daily chart. This high, this low. Clean up all this other junk here. Put it back on here. This high, this low. Look at where, I mean, you can't make this up. Look at where that 618 level is. Look at that. It wasn't there until we got this low. That is a beautiful place for it. That looks like, I mean, it just, like if I was going to draw the chart, that's where I would have put it. And now, upside potential, right over there, before we get another consolidation. That looks pretty darn good. This one's still suffering, probably needs a lower low. We didn't get the lower low yesterday. We didn't do it. We got close, but we didn't do it. Probably needs to do that, break above that downtrend of highs to go higher. If we're going to go higher. This one may not recover. May not do it. NKD, global liquidity, holding the low so far. Would not surprise me to rally right back up to the top of this chart once again. If we can break out, we may see everything go higher in a big way. Dollar, doing that retrace I thought we might do. Let's just kind of clean these things up a little bit. We hit the roadmap line as expected. So we've got the high, we've got the low, 618 zone. Just remove some of these things. That zone right in here, and it's in the perfect spot, right? Like it sits right on top of that consolidation. Perfect spot. So this will probably rally right up in here in that zone, and then we'll see. Does it break down or does it break through? Right like that. Probably going right up in there. And then we'll see if we can break on down. Getting a little chop there. If we can get above that downtrend of highs, probably going back up to all-time high. If we don't, probably breaking on down to 100, at least, if not on down further. All right, I go pull all the things moving $2 or more up, put it on the gainers list, $2 or more down, put it on the decliners list. Snow, already talked about, beautiful. Probably get a little retrace, but that is a beautiful potential for going higher. Really nice, really nice. We have nice upside. I mean, this is just really nice upside potential. Now, there is the risk we see deeper retrace, but at this point, upward bias. FNGU, long-term upward bias. FNGU bounce potentially, get back above the 618, 725 upside. Roots, topping out here. That's the lowest low. Everything over here doesn't matter. That's potential 5 up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see. And that is a perfect proportion between wave 1 and wave 5. I would be cautious. We may see this retrace somewhere into this zone right in here. Could be as high as that, could be as low as that. Somewhere in this zone, would expect a retrace. Now, it doesn't have to, but that looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Would not surprise me to do that before we can do something like that. It pushes the next move up quite a bit. Some ridiculous numbers there. App. Probably coming back down, despite it being on the poppers list. AXON, ouch. Was popping, now we're dropping. Watch for that potential downside. GEV, potentially bounce like this one. That 618 looks like it's in the proper place, right? If you were going to put it somewhere, sitting right on top of that consolidation, beautiful place to put it. If we get back above that, probably going on up here, 475. Beautiful, beautiful. NTNX. Well, that spiked the target. Be careful. We get a big retrace on that one. MDB. I'm not sure if we're done on the correction yet or not. Like this, kind of an overlapping move up. And that looks like we want to continue this down. Was that just the first move, the second move, and this will be the third move down? I don't know for sure. Like we're talking about this move, 1, this move, 2, and then copying this move and putting it over here. And this just be first move, second move, third move, for something down in here. So if we don't go up and break out, potential for this to come on down at this point. Not great. Doesn't give me that warm fuzzy feeling on MDB right now. VST, we did the retrace back to the roadmap line. Look at that. That's several of these have this perfect 618. Like they did this 3-wave retrace. They put the 618 right where it should be. If I was going to draw an example, 213 on the upside right there. Really nice. TLN, potential to come on down. Looks like that one looks like it needs further downside. See, that 618 doesn't look like it's in the right spot. Doesn't really make sense. Muddies up that chart a little bit. AMBA. Just kind of chopping around. Hasn't really gone anywhere in a long time. Look back. Nothing for 3 years. Doesn't make me feel awesome about getting involved in that. PTIR. Let's go check in on PLTR. And we're still potentially working on the drop back to this level. Back around the roadmap line, back around. So if you're not familiar, the roadmap line, you were like, what the devil is that, JT? I got the link in the description if you want the easy button. Now, if you're like, yeah, man, you're going to charge me $5? $5 that's a lot of money. Well, first, you probably shouldn't be trading if $5 is a lot of money. Second, you can click on my video right underneath me. You can click on my channel homepage, and I give it to you for free. All right. If $5 is too much, I can give it to you for free. Go watch that video. I give you the code. But if you want the easy button, you want a watch list, you want to like me to handhold you a little bit, link is in the description for $5. About the easiest thing you could do to get it on your chart. That right there, caution. Caution, caution, caution. Now we have this first move down. So there is resistance. And this looks like it could be in the right spot. So this, you know, what I always talk about, that move down, that 618 sitting right there in that gap, that looks like it could be in the right spot. So if we come up here, if we break above, we could be going on up to 132. If we reject, probably coming right down over here. Simple as that for PLTR. PTIR, the leveraged instrument for this, kind of rolls the same way. Just 2x leverage, whatever the move is. So if we're looking at 2x move up, you could be looking at 30% upside on PTIR, and then the downside sitting there at 70% downside on PTIR. And that would be pretty devastating on PTIR. Pretty devastating, I would say. Wow, there's a lot of tickers on this list today. I should get moving. Spotify, that looks played out for now. I would expect a retrace. We hit the 1272. Retracing back down in here would not surprise me one bit. CEG. And we're down to the roadmap line. That looks like it could be the right spot. So 369 upside if we can get back above the resistance. If we break down, could be coming on down. It's not the exact right spot. Let's do this. First move down, retrace. Yeah, could be right down in where these lows were, right over here. Meta, probably. So when we do this high to low, there's a resistance right here. And if that bounces down off of that, we may see it retrace a little deeper here. CRWD, it looks almost the same as the meta chart. On this view, we have that resistance right there. Could see this rally up and come down right there. Powell. See, look at this. Look at this. That move down, that retraced the 618. That move down, very nice and proportional. Right to the extension. This one might be done. Might be done. Although, if that came down just a hair, well, it looks close enough. See how these highs came up? See how these highs right there, how they're just sitting right under that zone? And then these lows over here, right there, were just on that 618. And then this consolidation happened right there. That makes it look like it's in the right spot. Like if you were gonna, if you didn't know, like you didn't draw the fib and you're like, you know, I bet there's a support resistance line right there. Why? Because those lows before it spiked, those lows after it spiked, that little consolidation, these highs, that gap down, that little back, you know, pullback, that makes it look like it's in the right spot, right? You look at enough charts, that's kind of what I would call a flip point in the chart. So if this rallies back up at this point, breaks back above that with a daily close, probably going on an extension, 406. Dave looks like it wants to retrace. That's hit the 1618, or yeah, the 1618 at 105. Looks like we need a consolidation. MOH, Molina Healthcare, looks like it needs a drop. Coin, looks like it potentially might have bottomed. If Bitcoin bottomed, this thing can take off like a rocket. That is a nice three-wave retrace right into a 618 of this whole move up over here. This could be a measured bounce for a bigger upside potential. That bigger upside potential right up here around 500. That's pretty much a double on shares for coin. Now, you wanted to, so if coin doubles, tunnel, potentially 4x right there. That wouldn't be too bad, right? Wouldn't be too bad. Or, I mean, I guess it'd be a, you know. So if you double your money on coin, you 3x your money, right? 100% gain. So this would be a 200% gain. Not bad. STRL. Don't like that. That looks like it's set up for a bigger retrace off of this move. That was a monster move up. This may need something back down in the 60 zone, if not on down. There's something in this zone right there. DGNX, not enough candles to do anything with. It's probably going to retrace. ALAB. That might be heading back down. Careful. Despite it being on the poppers list, it is now under here and has the potential to go deeper on the drop and the correction. CLS, watch for that to come back down. NRG, watch for that to come back down. Might be played out at this point. Could get some upside, 123, maybe 136. But that's looking a little played out on that move right now. VRT, this may dip just a little lower. Toyota Motors, stuck at the roadmap line. Holding the uptrend of lows, holding on to that. We did this corrective move up where it was like the first move up, the retrace, and the second move up. And we held right there. First move up, retrace. This made it a little bit ambiguous. But it might, if it breaks down, we're going to probably go lower low than this low over here. Potential for this to break higher, but that looks like we got some downside pressure cooking here. Downside pressure cooking. Be careful on Toyota Motors at this point. MSTR. So here's the crux of the matter. Is this roadmap line hit good enough, or do we need to go right down in here? I can't say for a strong... I don't have a strong feeling now. Maybe that, like when we pull the high to low, maybe that 618 is in the right spot. Maybe it needs to pull down just a hair more to be in the right spot. It's in the vicinity. We could be done. Could, in fact, be done. It doesn't have to hit these levels. It just, more often than not, we see it at least get some sort of parity, equality between the first move down and the third move down, or even a little extension. But sometimes they come up short. You don't have to do anything. So sometimes we see the correction come up short. This would be a great place to do it. That would be resistance going higher right there on MSTR. So for all of you that didn't think we might hit the roadmap line, we did. Tesla still looking for the bottom. It's got a little bit further to go, 284 probably. And we'll see if we can hold this. It was in the poppers list. Now we're declining. Must mean NVDA giving it up a little bit. Yep. Giving it up. Coming back down. Rolling over a little bit. And we might take the index as negative here. Tell you what. Where were we? ARM. Not looking super hot here. If we break down below that roadmap line, probably coming back down in this area right here. AVGO needs to finish up this retrace. Had a nice little bounce, but at this point, let's just clean this up and redo the... take a new look at this. So this first move down and this retrace, we bottomed out in a potentially good spot. First move down, 3-wave retrace, so second move, and then the third move came down to the 1618. Now, when we see 1618s, either it was an extreme move flush out, or we're about to get continuation. Like that's you don't know for sure. You never know for sure on a lot of these things. And there's Tesla pushing on into the levels. So this first move down now becomes here. The retrace becomes here. And now it sets up for the potential extension down here. So we look at the first move, that retrace right into that 618, 786. And if we pull this on down, now that 618 level starts looking like it's in the right spot. We found support here, found support here, and that kind of, if we turn down here, that would look kind of like it was in the right spot. So we may see AVGO move on down. Now, how do I know where to put these? I don't know for sure. Right? It could be right there. That could be the bottom. It could have already bottomed. That could be the spot. This higher low can hold and we go higher. I don't know for sure. It's just after drawing this drawing hundreds, thousands of these over and over and over. If I was going to guess, that would be where I would think we might bottom out and make this chart look better. Just has a funny habit of doing that sort of thing and making these fib lines come out in a spot that you're like, well, it made perfect sense that 618 would be sitting right there. It's just kind of weird. It messes with your mind when you, it messes with my mind constantly when I see this stuff. Because I've done it enough times that I've started seeing it before it happens. And then I'm like, well, that was exactly the place I would have put that. And we just all do it as a human collective, which is the real mind bender of this whole thing. That right there potentially can take us on up to 285. But it might need a retrace right here in the short term before we can do that. Right up in that zone. Reddit, coming on down. There's support right here. And then if we break down, had this on a chart for a little while. There's the levels. All right. Warby Parker. Probably coming on down to the roadmap line. LEU. Boy, the gainers list is turning negative here. LEU looks like it wants to come on down. UCLO looks like it may bounce up to a 618 and then come on down. So we're looking at that high, that low, that resistance, and a potential move on down. NXST. Choppy hot mess. Holy moly, choppy. Whew. Yeah, I wouldn't get involved in that. Plenty of other things out in the market to get involved in. And Amazon, probably going to go lower. PANW might go lower. It actually exceeded what I expected there. Got upside resistance here. And then downside. UNM. Yeah, hitting resistance there. Watch for that to roll. COHR. Potential bottom here. Yeah, that one. So this one not very clear. Like that 618. Not sure that looks right. It may need to be here. Tends to line up with prior stuff as well as stuff over here. And why would I pull it on down? Because of that high and these lows over here. And this little flip, this little consolidation right there. So that may be heading on down to 68 right there. Look a little sour in the market here. Urban. Kind of feel like that needs a retrace, but it could continue on higher. Didn't really retrace as far as it needed to support that bigger move up. That low, that high, that low. And we're coming up into resistance, but this may keep on trucking through there. ANET still got downside. Didn't quite get there and just shy of my target zone. CRDO just shy. Like that probably needs a lower low. And yep. Something down here probably. And VITL breaking back, potentially going to break back below that downtrend of highs. If it does that, probably not going up for now. So this is an important support resistance area. If we get below that, down. FAS chopping around here. Upside is 192, potentially even up here. Support down here at 150. Marvell getting into the roadmap line. Getting it. Has that prior high over here. Retesting the breakouts. Classic. That high, that low, potential of 134 or 140. IBKR probably coming back to the roadmap line. Would be my guess. Z-Lab. And it's set on this. Potential. Oh man, look at that. Beautiful. Look at that. Beautiful. I didn't take that, but look at that. Beautiful. Measured bounce. Extension right to the 1618. Retraced. Held above. That's a perfect example. That's the 0 point. That's the 1. That's the 2. That was a 3. That was a 4. This will be a 5. Probably top out the 5 somewhere right in here. Somewhere right in that zone. Oop, moving the wrong thing. Then highly likely we get a bigger retrace. Right there. That bigger retrace would likely bring us right back. Oh my gosh, this is too perfect. This is perfect Elliott wave proportions right here. And then that sets up a bigger 1-2. With a third wave target right up in here. I'm not predicting time. I may have the timeline wrong on this. This could be a fast wave 2 and then wave 3 take forever. That's what Z-Lab looks like at the moment. Now, the path can change depending on what happens, but that looks really, really... I mean, if I was going to draw a perfect example of proportions, this would be it right here. I would expect that 5 to top out right there, a little bit higher, retrace, go higher. And this will do a 5 wave. Excuse me. Oh, gosh. That almost got away from me. AMAT, looks like we're going lower. NVDA. As NVIDIA gives it up, the warning. Hood, probably coming on down to the roadmap line. In fact, thought I had an alert there. Put me alert. I may get back in. I don't know. We'll see. Opera. That's a lower high. Very choppy off the low. That's looking like it might go lower. Potentially down in this $8 area. VRNA, just ripping. Pharmaceutical, that high, that low, 73. Resistance. PLTR, we already covered. The upside, downside potential. Datadog, look for this to come on down. If we can get down in the zone, sets up a much larger upside potential to 200, which is almost a double. Like that is basically a double on shares right there for Datadog. Deck. Oh man. Potentially going for a bigger retrace. And that split moved, like I had all my drawings up there. This has been, wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Guess what? We might do a bigger retrace somewhere down in, that would hurt, but this might do a bigger retrace back down in that consolidation area. XNet. The downtrend. I would be very careful. Very, very careful. DXYZ. Back down to the roadmap line. If we don't hold here, probably come back down there. That looks like the bubble pattern to me. Breaking down. Probably going to flush. Probably going to flush. All right, looking at decliners. Stuff that was down in the pre-market. I bought well, almost to the target. Sometimes I get lucky. Look how close that is. 10 more bucks. Be there. TFX. It doesn't, like, just to be clear, that doesn't have to be the bottom. We could extend it down to 15. This may never recover. TFX. Wow. Doing a bigger retrace and may not find support till we're down here. Race. Did we hit the upside target yet? Getting some volatility. Wow. Big up, big down. Look at that. Stopped right on the 1448. 90% of the way to the 1272. Watch out for this retrace right there. TNDM. Bounced off of that. Pushing back down. That may go lower low. That looks like 3 waves up. Very proportionally. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Could see a retrace and then plummet out right there. This move. I know I'm on a weekly chart, but very proportional correction. Trend has been down. Trend continuation would be lower low. I would expect this to make a lower low. Somewhere down below 12 or 13. DMARC. Digimark. Don't trade this stuff. Don't get your money involved in stuff like this. Just don't. PSTG. Coming back down for the roadmap line probably. On the weekly. Yeah, it looks like it topped out. Probably coming back down. Maybe to this consolidation box here. WPP. Sideways chop. CRM. That's a nice retrace on the way to the target. Now, here's the caution though. If we're pushing it right now. If we don't hold here, probably coming on down here. That could be 5 up. Very kind of skewed 5 up. Could be 5 up. Could need a retrace before we can go higher. eBay. Right back down to the roadmap line. This has bigger opportunity to go down, but if we hold in here, turn higher. There's the high, there's the low. With the gap down, not very clear on what we might get. When you look at the bigger picture, this may need a bigger, deeper retrace before we can go higher again. This could be the high, first move, second move. We could need something like this. Potentially SMCX, 2x leverage on SMCI. Be careful. That was a 3-wave correction. Continuation is lower. That low, that high. Continuation lower is 12. TKO. Watch out for that to come on down. Back to the roadmap line. BBWI. Got the Bodyworks. Clean her up. That high, that low. 618. First move down, retrace. Next move down. Right down here. Right like that. F-Wonk. Back to the roadmap line. STZ. That could have bottomed. A nice big fat move up. Let's just redraw it. Everything's off just a hair. That low. Oh, I see what the problem was. Let's go back. Undo, 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 undo. Click that button off. There we go. And that was off now. Awesome. Potential for that to have bounced, and we go up here. Downturn of highs. That'll be resistance. Looks pretty good for potentially going on up. That could be like a 3x on 2x, 3x on shares. Nice potential upside on Constellation Brands. Ultra Gold, ugly, doing a big retrace. Watch for this to come all the way back down to the roadmap line right there. FE. Nothing. SG. Sweet green. So that's potentially 5 up right there. That low, that high. Maybe come back to the, we're kind of in the vicinity here. Don't really want to overlap that. So we really want to see it hold right in that zone and turn higher. First move up, retrace, next move up. Might take us up to this zone right here if we can hold above that high. Gotta hold above that high to go higher. If we break down below it, coming down here. SMCL. Chopping around 2x leverage on SMCI. Diego. Potential to have bottomed, but maybe heading down for a lower low. GDS. Golly. There's the resistance zones. Needs a retrace. That's straight up. Needs to come back down to the roadmap line. Bonus trade for the day. Check this one out. A little bit crazy. I would say this is a little bit crazy. Might work, might not work. Now, the system picked it up right here. If you draw it properly, probably up here. This kind of arcing off flat. A little bit of a consolidation zone for a while. So maybe it's not the strongest trade. I thought it was worth mentioning because of the banging statistics. Look at this right here. Pull this up. 89% right here. 38 trades. Profit factor 10. It's pretty strong. Really depends on how you draw the fibs. May need a little higher to actually set it up to go higher. Right there. So it's a marginal bonus trade potential. Really have to, I'm probably not getting involved in it yet. But when you look at that, that actually triggered right there. So, and that target would be only about 696. So not even a higher high. And we are retracing a little bit. Stop out would be $1 below the low. So you got to be careful there. Not sure I like the way this is arcing off, but so far that hasn't mattered. As I've run 100,000 of these charts through something to try, through an AI to try to find statistics significance on all sorts of things. And the roadmap doing things like rolling over doesn't seem to matter one bit. So anyway, that's it for today. As far as bias goes, well, we're turning pretty sour here. Looks like we might be heading for that roadmap line. Remember, the parameters are that prior low. If we break below it, we're probably coming on down. We may be set up for a bounce. Grind is what I kind of expect. May just grind today. Like that's. Now, Bitcoin was green coming into the open here, and we may. Bitcoin at the open was green. It is a green Bitcoin day. If the correlation holds today, we probably will see SPX make a nice pop. Could close green by the end of the day. I mean, we are sitting there barely green. Now, how green? 1 penny green satisfies the condition. So it does not have to go anywhere today. Could just close a penny green. It's kind of interesting. Anyway, I'll be back live again tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel, 9:15 tomorrow. Hope you have a great day. Be careful out there. The money you save may be your own.